All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of the Point Gremlins podcast. I am Alex, otherwise known as Delirium, joined with my co-host today, James, otherwise known as Jonas the Red.
Howdy.
Today, we are going to be going over a lot of the game modes that we have over at iCombat Waukesha. Kind of going through and giving them a tier list rating, if you will. Going down the list from S, A, B, C, and D, the meanings of these different tiers is S is you want this in every single session. Game mode is absolutely perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. Just absolute favorite. A is just a good, clean game mode. You're fine with it every session you play. It's not your favorite or anything, but it is just you're never upset to hear it called over ice. B kind of depends on the session you're in, or it's just not your favorite. Kind of a game mode that's rather autonomous and just you don't really think anything of it. C is you don't think it's very fun, or it has some sort of major flaw that prevents it from being fun. And then D, you hate this game mode. Please never play it in my sessions. It ruins all my fun. I despise this game mode. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to go down the list of the 28 different game modes we have. I'm going to, you can see my tier list is on the left, James's is on the right. We're going to go through, say what we have for each of these, and then I'm going to slide them over to their respective categories, and we're going to discuss.
Conveniently, or not so conveniently, the category D is the longest in my list. I hate the majority of game modes, apparently. This
That's
is a bell
funny.
curve I'm looking at.
All right, so to start things off with the very first game mode we have as Black Hawk Down. Personally, I gave Black Hawk Down a C. Big ol' C.
I think that's blasphemy. That's definitely an S game mode for me.
S game mode for you.
Yeah, I love that game.
All right,
I
well,
love it so
in
much.
that case, allow me to explain my reasoning. I suppose the big reason I have Black Hawk Down as low as I do is I'm just so sick of it. I play it in. I could probably pull up the stat. I think it's in like 40% of public sessions. I'm so tired of playing it. It's another one of those game modes that has the potential for being really fun, and it could be like a great experience because you survive the 5 minutes or you get 30 plus kills, whatever it is, and you just, you could have the potential of having a great Black Hawk Down, but it's just another game mode where you die once, you're out. It's just played so much.
The potential for it being great is just so immense. And generally, even Tango side, I have fun playing it. Just the fact of hunting down and trying to like find that person and end their kill streak is just so fun to me. It's like, oh, I got you, idiot. You're trying to get a bunch of kills up top. And obviously, the Ranger side super fun too. It is that high gamble of are you going to get absolutely nuked through the Halloween tarps right away, or are you going to survive 5 minutes and get a godlike? Or even that, just getting that achievement, 17 kills is good too.
I definitely agree with you that I think the Tango side is a lot more fun than the Rangers, because the Rangers, I think it's like more often than not for a regular, it's like go 8-1, die, and then wait for 2 minutes for the remainder of your team to die as well. But Tangos, you get to at least play the whole time. I don't know. I'm not very keen on that mission.
Mm. Oh, I think you may have misheard me. I do like the Ranger side more because you do get a whole lot of you get the kills for it and there's potential for it, but you still can have fun as Tangos. I don't know what I'd change to make the game mode any better. I think it's awesome right now. You just want to play it less, right?
I think I would like it in less sessions. And to make it better, I don't know. I don't think there's any inherent flaws with the game besides the fact that it's just die once you're out. But I don't think there's anything you could do to fix that aspect of it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Moving on. Next on the list is Borg. Borg has a big ol' D for me. What do you got for Borg?
Yeah, I'm not in the D category as well, but it's the C. It's a C category for me. That's everyone's favorite game mode, and it's only their favorite game mode is they get a lot of kills. From my perspective, though, it looks like you're just nuking everyone else's fun in the session. It's like, tell the new players to go upstairs, take cover. You guys don't get to have any fun. I'm going to farm every single person that leaves the garage side and get a bunch of kills for it. It's such. It could be the potential for it, but the cattle herding you have to do to make it fun for yourself is kind of scummy. What
I
do you
don't.
think?
The big thing for me is like, yeah, you can get that big kill streak, but when you think about it in terms of the fact that it's a 2-round game mode. So think about it like TDM, you're trying to get probably 20 plus kills on each round of TDM. For Borg, you will probably get 25, maybe 30 if you're lucky kills as the Borg, and then you get 0 as a human. You are
Yep.
a net downgrade from a TDM. I don't understand why everyone thinks they're going to get all these kills in Borg. It's just one round of getting upset at your new players and getting a high kill streak, and then another round of dying 11
Oh
times.
my god, absolutely it is. And then if you want to have a potentially good Borg, you have to really have to try and talk to your new players and really to get them to understand the idea of being a hive mind. And it's so hard to get across. And every single time, every single game, you get that one idiot that's slowly walking around confused as frick, just down the street, casually walking, getting exploded by Zach. They're just
Ah,
absolutely nuking him.
from a new player's perspective, it's gotta just be one of the worst game modes. You gotta play it, you have no idea what's going on. You sat down in market, on the top of market, literally the whole round. There's people just screaming at your friend who is walking around not knowing what's going on, and then you lose.
There has to be a way to make it better. The only reason why I have it one step ahead of you because the idea that everyone takes damage at the same time one person does, there's clearly some value there, and there is because we made a different game mode about it, which we'll get to in a bit. You can make it good if you just change the rules a little bit. Uh, I think there's can be more that can be done though.
I agree. I think the idea behind it could be really fun. And even if the game was played differently, it could be really fun. So if it was played in a way where everyone was hanging out in lower market and no one was, I guess, kill hungry and they're all rather like trying to preserve their health, that would be a lot more fun. But when it's you got the regulars that are just trying to get as many kills as they can possibly muster, and then the new players sitting down doing nothing or just getting drilled over and over again, not knowing what's happening, it makes for a really not very fun game mode.
It's I and everyone requests it over and over again. Sometimes I'm ice and I like to show my face and kind of like joke with the crowd before the game starts. And there's always that one person. We play Borg. We want to play Borg. Borg's a good game, but we should play Borg. Borg, like it's such a you don't want to play Borg. You think you do, but you don't.
I agree. But anyway, moving on to our next game mode, which this funny little symbol right here, uh, as Breakthrough. I gave Breakthrough a solid B. Where's
Thanks.
Breakthrough on your list, Jimbo?
Do you wanna guess where I put Breakthrough?
It's either an A or an S. Where's it at?
It's an S.
S.
It's I'm biased, right? I
You're
made
biased.
yeah, it's domination. It's two tubes. You put one behind the broken room. You put one in the you put one in the garden, and then it's just about getting behind enemy lines and taking that tube just for a second. It's my game mode. I'm biased. I love that thing. I made it for a reason.
I have not had a bad experience playing it yet. To be fair, the game I've played it twice, and in both sessions I had a stun grenade and was just stunning Simpson over and over again, who was on my team. So I guess I haven't really played it competitively yet, but from what I've watched and the little I've played of it, it's been really fun. Uh, but it has just a very high probability to end in a tie. I
It
think
does.
I think
It
50% of the times I've played it, it's been a tie so far.
really?
I think so.
I
I
think
think I've
that's a
played
bit
it four
extreme.
times though.
Okay, that's unlucky for you. Generally, it has for Domination, it has a really high chance of it being a tie in comparison to normal Domination, right? So maybe that's your way of getting the achievement of. Well, I guess you couldn't. No, that's a Hell's Bells achievement. Win by one ding. Win by 1 point in this. Never mind. I think I've seen the game barely go tie. It looks like it's going to tie a lot, but often, majority of times, it will one time will win either a lot or just barely a little bit.
I don't have a I don't have a huge opinion on it since I just haven't played it much. I have experienced zero problems with it though. That's why it has earned a very solid B.
I foresee there's going to be problems with it. There's already problems. I had to move the tubes a couple times to get it in the right spot. I think we're there yet. And I think next year we're going to really beta test this for everyone. That's the last thing I heard. So that's going to be good. Look forward to that.
I do look forward to that. New game modes are always a good time.
Really, the philosophy behind it is that, well, we have a lot of game modes that are one-sided, right? Black Hawk Down and Borg, for example, are quote-unquote one-sided game modes where you kind of always expect the humans to win. You kind of always expect the tangos to win. You kind of always expect the SWAT team to win. Well, SWAT's up in the air now with the new meta with it. With Breakthrough, I wanted it to be a truly balanced game mode as much as I can, like Domination, like sort of Whack-A-Mole, like sort of Recon. I wanted to be able to play. You can just play it whenever, and it gets a lot of playtime. Everyone likes it. It's very malleable.
Another game mode like that would certainly be nice. Anything to take the place of Domination and Whack-A-Mole, but we'll get to those games later.
Mm-hmm.
Next up on the list is Domestic Threat, which I'm surprised I gave it the rating I did. I actually gave Domestic Threat a big old B. I'd imagine that's probably a low B though.
I'm looking at mine. Currently I have it A, and I think I'm gonna leave it there. But I part of me wants to put it lower because I want to expand on the game a little bit.
Man, before we started, you said you have most of your stuff in D, and
Oh,
I
there's
looking at
the
the
list.
tier lists, I'm pretty low on a lot of the games.
He just doesn't like iCombat. He like hates all the
I
game
don't like
modes.
it. I don't like this. This isn't fun at all. But anyway, to talk about Domestic Threat, I think, well, it's not the best backpack game, but I think it is probably the most commonly played backpack game.
It's a really creative one, open-ended. You can put that thing anywhere inside the marketplace. Given there's like 5 or 6 spots that everyone kind of like rotates around, but every once in a while you see someone pull something out, and it's like, really? You put it there? Why didn't I see that? God, frick! And it slides like that. It's really cool.
I've been truly had by by Domestic Threat. I think just a couple of weeks ago I was playing against Vito, and he told me he was gonna put it upstairs, and I ran upstairs right away, and I didn't find it. So I was like, I don't believe him. It's not up here. And I was obviously if I'm looking for the backpack, I'm on the embassy side. And when you came up the stairs, if you made like an immediate U-turn and just looked in that back little corner, it was just right there. I was basically standing on top of it at one point. He told me he was certain that I knew where it was, and I could not find it.
I think I was there, and then I was like, he knows where it is. He's just trying to farm Vito a little bit. Like, like you buffoon, you put it in the simplest spot possible, haha. And then you were like, you're leaning over the side, like you were really like, where is it? And like 5, 4, 3, 2, and yeah, it stayed in the exact same spot. There are some really clever spots you can do. And recently, a place has been outlawed: the stairs.
Yeah, I didn't think that was ever legal, but I guess I don't know.
I've heard both. Tried it for a little bit. I think it's going to be left illegal for now. But the point is that you're meant to be able to put it on the ghetto side staircase, and it was really hard to get to. I've totally seen it been moved, taken from that spot over and over again. I'd be okay if it was allowed to be in that spot, but whatever, it can be whatever rules it wants. There's so many more places you could put that thing,
I
and
think
why not? It doesn't bother me.
the coolest part about this game mode is the ability to hide the backpack. And I think that is a really cool thing about the game, and it can also take away from it. So I've a lot of times when I play, I never hide the backpack, and half the time I don't even ask where my team put it, just because I one don't really care where it is. I'll just defend the market in general, and two would rather let some people that don't hide it all the time, haven't played like 400 plus sessions, hide it. And sometimes I will be really wowed by where they put it. Like, that's really cool. I like that spot. And sometimes they'll put it like behind a filing cabinet or something like that. Like, they'll probably get that. Whatever.
Sometimes there's like two main play styles I've seen with domestic threat, where it's either you're trying to put it in a spot that's easily defendable, or actually trying to put it in a spot where they'll never actually look and try and find it. Behind the filing cabinet probably isn't going to be the best hiding spot for it, but maybe that filing cabinet happened to be like right next to our spawn, and is really easily defendable. For that 1 week that the breach door side window was wide open, and your entire team could just like throw lasers down the lower left side of the market and it's completely annihilate that room, people would always put the backpack right there, right on the other side of that window, out of the breach side. And it would just, a lot of the times, it would cause the terrorists to win over and over and over again because that window was just so powerful. Just sometimes you can put the backpack in a really good spot that it's just more easily defendable than it is hideable.
Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere near one of my favorite game modes. I think it's okay. It's fine.
I think I'd like to move it down a peg to B as well. You want to slide mine down to B.
Yoop.
There it goes.
All right. Well, moving on to our next game mode, which I believe this is Domination, correct? Yes, Domination is next. I've given this the honor of my first S. Big S for this guy.
Wow. Mine's a B. I've slid it into B as well.
Into B for Jimbo.
I like other two games more. Why'd you put an S?
I think it is just kind of the perfect baseline for what an objective game should be. I think it's defend the entirety of the field, so the game uses the entirety of the field. I love the aspect of you can patrol certain areas and get kills and play the objective at the same time. Because I'm not the biggest objective player out there. I like playing certain objectives a lot more than others, but not domestic threat, domination, I will always play.
Sometimes you can just kind of sit back for some game modes and just like get the kills for it. But I agree with you. I love to play the objective specifically in this one. I like to be useful to the team. Generally, I've said this before, I'm not the best player. I'll just kind of nominate myself to be I'll take the mansion guy. No one's getting in the mansion this game. I'll be that one instead of leaving it up to the new players to go and get it. You guys can fight over market for me. But sometimes I do get drafted to go upstairs because I'm rather skinny and can sprint upstairs pretty quick. I love playing the objective in that game, but we play that game a lot, a freaking lot. We play the domination. It's always gonna be TDM, domination, Black Hawk Down, sniper is generally the session that I play. The session template that I play like 70% of the time. Given I only play on Saturdays, the only time I can play. So, Saturdays later in the day too. So like the template, just like just get them in, play the sessions. I don't want to like play Safecracker or Hacker or something and try and like get these group to like really understand how to play a game mode or big setup for some game mode. It's just a simple game mode to play. I see far too much of it.
I think it is just kind of the iCombat staple almost. I think even though we play it a lot, I've never heard someone complain about not liking domination.
I guess I haven't openly complained about it either until now.
I mean, I understand that we play it all the time and you kind of want to get some other game modes in there, but I don't think that's a problem with domination. I just think that's a problem with the Lazy Ice Operator.
That's true. I'm going to leave mine where it is, though. I'm not going to move it.
Okay.
Can we get you to move down to A, though?
No, I'm good. I'm keeping it there. All right, moving on. Next game mode is Elimination, which, surprise, surprise, I actually really like Elimination, and I have it in A tier.
Huh. Yeah. I like it a lot too. I wouldn't put it in A though. I do like to shoot some people, and I feel like I die a lot in that game. Again, I'm bad. All right, I put mine in B,
And B
just
tier for
underneath it.
you. Uh, I actually really like Elimination. I think the worst part about it is the chance that 1 minute into the game you go 0-2 and your game is over, and you have 4 minutes to sit around and wait. That is,
Yep.
without a doubt, the biggest problem with that game mode. However, when you go like 11-1 or survive the whole time, like even 4-1, and just like get some good picks, the game is so much fun. Coming down to the wire when it's like 4v4, everybody only has one life left, and you're moving around the field so slowly and so quietly because they could be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Um, that's one way of playing it, but what I generally see is that once it gets down to the wire like that, no one's moving around anymore. Everyone kind of retreats back to their hidey holes and just kind of waits for the tie. Because why wouldn't you, right? As long as one person's alive on both sides, it's a tie game and everyone gets the same win bonus. It's a win for both sides. There's not a whole lot of pros to going out and hunting down the rest. If the game were changed, and I doubt it. I doubt the coding will actually be changed for it, where the team with the more amount of remaining players at the end would be the winner. I think that would boost it would knock my ranking up a few points, a lot of points.
Yeah, I've actually just started calling the. Obviously, ice gives the wins to both teams when it's a tie, but I've just been starting to call the team that has more players the winning team. It doesn't do anything besides title, I suppose, but
I
I
think
I
that I
I
want to see more
dub
of that.
them. I dub them the winners.
You had seven, like 'cause sometimes it's literally a 7-on-1, and they can't find the scoundrel that's hiding somewhere. It's not that extreme sometimes. Sometimes it's 7-on-1. The one person will like announce that go kill him is the last one left, and the whole like push and find that one rat somewhere. But it's like sometimes it's a 7-on-1 or it's a 4-on-1, and then it just ends up in a tie. And like on the screen, it says win for both sides, and the announcer says it that way. It's just it's that's why it's a little bit lower. I want it to be good. That's where it is now.
Yeah, I suppose it all really does depend on the way you like to play it. At least I think I like to play it in a way where I, that last minute, try and push up as much as I can, find all the remaining players, and see if I can get everybody eliminated or die trying. But you are correct that more often than not, in a public session, the game will end in a tie, which is a little unfortunate.
And all you're doing to make it better in your mind is just applying a different mindset to the game. Imagine the other games you could do that for and make the rest of the games more fun.
Yeah, true. All right. Moving on. Next game is Espionage. I am. It's fine. I have it as a C. It's a
No,
fast backpack game, so
me too. I don't like that game a lot. It's the C as well. It
yeah.
ends far too quickly for it to be good in my eyes. The game will literally be over in 15 seconds.
And
Game
there's
starts, everyone sprints. You do a little bit of killing by the tower, and then once you're in there, and once you get the backpack, it's game over from the second that one person gets the backpack.
yeah the
Unless
cool
there are some clutch moments that it can pull out, though, where one person will get behind the person and catch the person and kill him and grab the backpack and run the other way. That's cool, but that never happens. That's like once in 20 elimination, once in 20 espionages.
yeah the cool part about Espionage is trying to get the backpack out of the locker. Once the backpack leaves the locker, it's the game ends in the next 30 seconds, one way or the other.
Yeah,
So
there's
I
too
just
much cover around that. Maybe
yeah,
it was the mansion. Hmm.
maybe I just don't think there's enough back and forth in the game.
Yeah, conveniently remedied that, but we'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Mission Hell's Bells, and surprise, surprise, I don't like this game at all, and I have it in the D category.
Yeah, sorry, Jeremy. It's a D category for me as well.
This game, I just don't want to spend 5 minutes shooting the bell from a spot that no new player should reasonably think I could hit it from.
It feels like we're kind of cheating the new players out of the game. If you don't know all the potential spots where someone could be hitting the bell from, you get to play team deathmatch instead. Because how the bell works, if one person's shooting it, you can't really get any points off of it unless you kill that person that's shooting it first. You have to really kind of take dominance over the bell first, and once you're shooting, you're kind of shooting it. You can get that rhythm. The bell responds to you now. It doesn't. I'd rather everyone, in order to ring the bell, you have to sit underneath it and be vulnerable and help make sure your team helps you defend it while you shoot it.
Yeah, and I think the other problem with it is if I really wanted to, I could. There's some spots in lower market or upper market where I could just sit there for the full 5 minutes shooting the bell and probably never see an enemy player once if they're not
Yeah,
like sweeping behind my spawn or something like that. So it just discourages me from really interacting with the enemy team and is literally just 5 minutes of clicking on my trigger as fast as I possibly can.
your hand hurts. Ah,
And the other problem is, man, you can shoot that thing from anywhere. I can
yeah,
shoot it from mansion if I want.
you
I
could.
it's I won't hit it a ton, but man, I can shoot it from there.
And then, well, the thing is with finding with a mansion, maybe if you played Hell's Bells in a smaller session, shooting it from mansion would be much more effective. But in a bigger session, there's generally always going to be someone ringing the bell, and trying to get priority over the bell from the mansion is going to be really, really hard to do.
Yeah, I suppose I'm a big advocate for the way the other fields play Hell's Bells. I know not everybody is as keen on as the idea, but generally the way that it works in other fields is there's actually a tube up it so that you can only shoot it if you're directly underneath it. Some people really like that, some people don't, but I think the game is changed drastically if you have to be standing directly underneath the bell. I guess I can't say if it's for better or for worse, but it's something I would like to try maybe.
I think we should. I think we should try it. I don't think it will ever be changed.
Nope,
Uh,
probably not.
yeah, and that's okay because I've heard the philosophy before. The logic is that our bell is the only bell that works the way it does. Madison and Chicago just had different bells, just like completely. Our bell is the only way that it works the way it does. And I think it's a rather good story for it. The first bell we always had, it's the same bell we always had. It's always worked. It's never really had a problem unless there is some stories where it had worked a little bit not consistently. We
Yeah,
fixed it.
there was a couple of years ago where the sensor in it actually fell down so that it was dangling and you could shoot it almost literally from anywhere.
Like right now, you can shoot it from anywhere. You could be standing on top of the sniper tower in Embassy Side and shoot that thing if you tried hard enough.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a problem. But moving on to the next game mode, which is Mission Hive, which is what this little egg thing is.
Yeah,
uh,
it's nice.
and for Hive, I have it as a big ol' A.
You put your own game mode in A and not in S?
I did.
I put your game mode in S. I have really good experience with your game modes whenever I get to play it.
I do too, but I have also seen it played in ways that make me a little sad.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What's that?
So the Hive is essentially my remedy for Borg, and it promotes the Borg team to defend one unified objective rather than just stay low, get kills, and try not to get shot. This way, you're defending your spawn from the onslaught of the human team coming to shoot your hive from all the whack little angles they can find.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the problem with it is when a player just really wants to get all those kills and will stand in like garden or something like that and just get shot a ton, take a ton of damage for their team, but just want the kills. They don't care about the rest of their team who are defending it and they're just going to lose because of this guy. They just want the kills.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You'll see. Well, so to their effect, how it works at our place is that to make new game modes, we can't create brand new templates. We can use all our current game modes as templates and change some of the on-field ground rules for them in order to make it work. So in this one, in Hive, if you haven't played it before, you take off your vest, and you put it on the ground in your spawn, and you're running around just with your gun sensor and your helmet. And they can obviously still kill you just by shooting those two. But if you really want to nuke the Borg or the Hive down, you sneak into their base. You like kind of put your gun down, kind of like on the same level as the ground, and kind of like string your laser across as many sensors as possible, just annihilating the health pool of it. And what they'll see on the screen is they'll see Borg. Oh, it's Borg. It's the Borg template. I'm gonna go farm for kills. This poor Borg game mode's ruined Hive. It could be good.
I do think it is a lot more fun to be the humans than the Hive, though. I think trying to find those angles to shoot the Hive at can be so much fun. You're like, I was just destroying it from this spot, and they have just no idea about it, and that it feels like you really win it for your team, and it feels pretty fun.
I've never played it like that. I always try and weasel my way in there, and sneak past the person that's like guarding the ghetto like a sentry gun. Maybe get them to run one way and then run back behind them, and then sneak in behind their base and string a lot of bullets across. That's where I find the fun of it from the human side. But generally, I have more fun on the Hive side, patrolling back and forth like a evil alien. I just roleplay a bunch, I guess.
I think it's another game that could really benefit from being in like super small sessions. Like a 3-on-3 of Hive is a lot of fun.
Small game modes of Hive, that game's awesome. You can't, well, we won't play Hive in big sessions, but like a 10-on-10, I think it's our maximum for it, right?
I think so, but I don't think there's a hard set number on it.
I think that's still too much for Hive.
It might be.
Maybe we'll someday get a number, but generally you only find Hive in smaller sessions. Like a slow Sunday, if you want to try it, come in on a Sunday. It's a good chance you'll play it eventually.
Yeah, it's
great game mode.
I definitely really enjoyed it. I do think it still has a couple problems. It's half fixed what it's set out to do.
Yeah, there are some little changes we could still make to make it just absolutely perfect, but I think it's in an awesome spot right now.
All right. Next up on our list is another one that I really like, and that's Infiltration. I have Infiltration as a big ol' whopping S.
Ooh. Mine's still high up as well. I have mine in the B category. It's just a lot of it's a lot of running around. So, do you want to go ahead and explain Infiltration for those that haven't played it?
Sure. So much like the little achievement picture we have up here would suggest, it's Espionage but backwards. So you are trying to get the enemy or get the backpack out of the lockers and bring it into the enemy team spawn instead of your own. And the way it ends up working is it's just a lot of running back and forth. A backpack comes into one spawn, person dies, backpack goes to the other spawn, person dies. I think, unfortunately, this is another game mode that suffers a little bit from full sessions, so it's kind of hard to play in a 15-on-15. If you're playing it like that, you should just expect the game to end in a tie. But when you're playing it in like an 8-on-8 and below, this game is really fun.
Maybe that's probably exactly why I put it in B. I've never played it in a smaller session. I rarely get to play smaller sessions, so every single time I played it, it's been in a 15-on-15. And it's just like, well, this game's going to end in a tie. It's the fun part is that guessing which direction the enemy team's going to come from, and then trying your best to weasel it into their base when you get a hold of it. The fun part is that I'll have a couple people go ahead of me and kind of clear and push until we get close enough so I can get it in. Or you can do the woodland tactic, which I see a bunch, is that we're coming from the other side and make it seem like we're coming from ghetto or something, actually coming from mansion. That's a fun way of doing it too.
Love being the backpack carrier for this one. I always try and like go upstairs and like make my presence known that I have the backpack and then I'm up there so that they like kind of expect me to come from one way, and then I double back, I go all the way around, and then I go from the other way. Try and trick them a little bit.
That's funny. Like you're imagine you're on top of a marketplace and you're standing on top of the bridge and you wave the backpack above your head over and over again, like, I got a jar of dirt, and you run away.
Team leaders have got to hate it though, because I always look and be like, oh, we're gonna go for a ride, and then I'll start sprinting in the other way.
Yep, it's that game mode as I'm team leading, it will get me injured the most in. I've definitely taken big falls in that game mode trying to keep up with the backpack, because if you lose it just for a second, it gets out of your sight just for a second, that thing is gone.
Yeah.
You're probably never going to catch it again until it reaches the spawn, and then you're not going to be able to make the call if they won or not. And there's going to be a big fight in the spawn. Like, no, I got it. No, you didn't. You died. No, 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 no. Like, I can't be the mediator for it because I lost it. So I got to stay
Yeah.
glued to it. So I got to be fast. So I'll trip and fall and land on my knees. And I got so many pairs of jeans have been ruined by infiltration, but it's still awesome.
I suppose
Very fun.
that's the other big problem with it is, unlike a lot of the games we have that are like purely digital, it's so determined by the team leader to say it's in or it's not in, which I don't think I'm ever going to get upset at a team leader's call because I know how difficult it is to determine that. Because man, if you're running into the enemy team spawn, you're dying at some point, and a
Yeah,
lot of
you're
times it's really close.
like, if you blink the same second that you put it, that the regular puts it into the box, you're gonna miss some indication. You got to check to see if they flash enough. Are they actually dead? Can you hear their gun beeping? Are they actually dead? Is it close enough? Because sometimes they'll slam it in and put their hands up in the air like I'm celebrated, but their vest is clearly blue. Like, when
Yeah,
did they die?
yeah. So
You got to make that call.
it's a little rough on the team leader perspective. So it's unfortunate that there's just really nothing we can do to fix that aspect of the game.
You know, there's this tech in tennis where this AI can do better predictions of where the ball is gonna land than the humans can that are right next to it. There's no way we have that money for it, but they'll have like 32 cameras around the tennis court, and
Yeah,
they'll be able to predict it very well.
we also don't have time to go and check the replays. Halt the session. I need to know if this bag got in there.
Hold
No,
on,
it
guys.
didn't. Keep playing.
200 points is on the line.
All right, moving on to our next game mode, which is Jailbreak, which is another one that I'm actually pretty high on. I have Jailbreak up in the A tier.
Oh, mine's an A as well. I love this game.
Wow. I also love this game.
I want to play it more, but we don't get to play it more. I think it's on the uptrend right now. I think if you're coming in more recently, it's going to be start playing a lot more over and over again because of our new respawn beacon we have in the mansion. Now,
Yeah, that
everyone
thing's
knows
a
the
lot.
downside of that thing, but the upside is that all it takes is a plug in and load the game up, and that thing's just on.
Well,
The downside is that people forget it.
yeah, the downside has always been there, even if it was just a respawn tube. Oh, team leader forgot the respawn tube. Looks like I'll be respawning here for the rest of the game.
This is now my new base. Convenient, I could be actually 4 steps away from garden.
Granted, most people besides new players in Woodland won't use it. Uh, um, I think this game is a ton of fun. I think mostly from the prisoner's perspective, I think being a prisoner and trying to get to escape is a ton of fun.
Yeah, and even in big sessions where it is pretty hard to escape, if you still pull it off, and I've done it before, it's awesome. It's exhilarating to get all the way to the other side and sneak in there and shoot it. Generally, the players that do it pretty early and hide it in there, get a couple kills, then escape. That's generally how you get like more points out of it. But it's still very, very, very fun to do.
And it's something I personally kind of care a little bit about, but the achievements for it are actually very well designed too. Because a lot of times I'll play Jailbreak and be like, oh, I don't have this achievement yet. I need to escape without dying. So my goal is to play slow, get in there kind of sneakily, and then escape. Or escape with no kills. So my goal is just follow a horde of team and get in there. I think the achievements actually add quite a lot to that game too.
I'm actually pulling up the achievements right now because I want to see which ones I have on my account. I am not a master of Jailbreak.
I'm not either.
There's a lot of Jailbreak achievements.
There are. Some of them are actually rather tough. But the majority of them, especially from the prisoner's perspective, are actually pretty fun.
And this game is. I want to start achievement hunting more. This looks really good. Where
It
is
looks
that
really
one?
good from that game, but for the rest of them, it's like, why?
Some of these achievements like what the frick, the platoon one. Oh my god, the platoon one.
Yeah, those ones you just can't even do anything about. But just the feeling of escaping in Jailbreak is really really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
I
actually a pretty big team game too.
I really I think that one's more individual. Well, in some sessions I've seen some coordination, but generally I kind of just turn my brain off and run at the thing, and I'll escape. I'll get out.
Maybe
Because
more
really most.
so from a guard perspective.
Oh sure, yeah. Have your team split a certain way and be watching for some things, and
Certain guys
have some
watching
people in
here
there.
and then split out all throughout ghetto and just kind of guard every little corner and sit there like little goblins.
Most players are going to be focused on killing the players as they leave the mansion. So a lot of eyes will be right on the front of the gate. So if you can leave right away to get into lower market and let the people kind of like nuke the new players or get their points, that's like generally the best time to leave and get to the tower right away because they're all gonna be like, "Oh boy, a lot of points coming here right out of mansion." I should get some footage of that. I don't have any footage of that.
No, I don't believe you do. All right. Moving on here, because man, we're gonna go a little long with this guy. But moving on is our next game is Judge Dredd. I have it as a D.
It's I think we're thinking alike. I kind of hope we put that in the D. I kind of hope we would disagree more on more game modes. But generally, this game mode, in my opinion, will ruin sessions.
It
Uh,
takes everything I love about elimination and that possibility of surviving until the very end and just gets rid of it. More
mhm.
often than not, whenever I play it, like I play elimination, so I'm playing slow, trying to sneak around, I eventually just wind up running into the judge and die twice in a row.
Yep. It's fun to kind of like outplay the judge. The best part of it is to team up on the judge. There's been a trend recently where like one player from one team will walk up to the other team like it's a truce. We will establish our hands. We're not going to shoot each other. It's us versus him now. That's when I
And
think it's really fun.
and then it's always a broken truce, and I'll die from some random that never knew it was happening, and then I'll just
Oh,
be
frick,
kind of
I'm sorry.
kind
I'm
of
sorry.
salty.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The game mode, it'd be better if there were unlimited respawns and it was one person running around like a maniac. I think that's Big Boss, right? I think
Yeah,
we have that game. It's a custom game. You won't get like any achievements for it or anything, but it's you will play that thing once every 3 4 months. It's rare, very very rare. You'll
I
see that.
think I liked the game a lot more when I was still trying to get the achievements, and I was like, I haven't killed Judge Dredd yet. And I always hear Judge Dredd's the next game. I'd be like, oh sweet, this is my chance, and then I would never get it until eventually I did. But after I got all the achievements for it, and I'm like, I have just no reason to play this.
All I have to do is just to kill 10 people in a single game. I guess I've never killed 10 people in a game of Judge Dredd. I've done everything else. That's the point, right? You have 2 lives. Everyone
Yeah,
has 2 lives. You're not getting a whole lot of kills anyways. Maybe I'll be a little kill friendly next time I play that game.
and just do it for your birthday, and then you'll get it when you are the Dredd.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My birthday was a month ago. And I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna leave it. I don't want to ruin someone's poor session with this. Because what's happened is
You
you walk in as a judge and then
you
you
will be the villain,
I don't want to be the villain.
James the villain.
I don't
All
like
right.
doing that to people. Anyways, next one.
Next game is one of my all-time favorites, Juggernaut. Big S for me. Big Juggernaut fan.
Really? It's a B for me. I
I like Juggernaut.
Okay. Why do you like Juggernaut?
I like being the Juggernaut. I like attacking the Juggernaut, and I don't mind defending the Juggernaut. I
I
think
like one of the three of those things. Defending the Juggernaut, not being the Juggernaut either, is fun for me. Everything else is like, yeah, go ahead.
I think being the Juggernaut and surviving is awesome because you just get that feeling of wow, I really did just actually win this for my team. Uh, I think attacking the Juggernaut feels great when you either run up there, kill him in 15 seconds, you're like, wow, look at me go. Or you sneak behind him, kill 3 or 4 people, and then just drill the Juggernaut for a lot of health. Even if you don't kill him, you're like, man, yeah, that was a big chunk right there. That was good.
I think what we're seeing is that I need to play more games on Sundays when there's less people playing.
You do,
If
you do.
I
That's
need,
when the sessions are actually fun and there's not 32 people running around the field.
yeah, well, yeah. Um, I think full sessions are generally bad sessions Like, you can't get your most out of it, but you're not going to change that, right? We're a business. We're trying to make money off of it. And people will still find fun in those big sessions, but it limits what game modes are fun to play. And in my opinion, Juggernaut is not fun in big sessions. Every single angle is covered. You can't be sneaky at all. Just kind of like a zug zug, get up the staircase, get upstairs, get upstairs, get upstairs. And you're a Juggernaut. You're trying to get your team to go upstairs, and they won't because they're tired of climbing the stairs.
It's kind of a different topic a little bit, but I actually do think I'm in the minority of at least the people I've talked to that when I say I don't like full sessions, a lot of people are like, really? Why? A lot of people really like them.
We can talk about that a little bit. It has this huge potential to be so great. And think about it, right? There's a lot of people in the session. There's so many different angles you coming from, and just looking at the teams in themselves, they're either going to be. There's never going to be exactly balanced. You're going to be dominating on one side, 50-50 chance of you having a completely awesome fun time or getting smashed in those sessions. So there's potential for like a lot of fun if you're just winning over and over again, if you love to win.
I just think there's so much mediocrity in them because I think it's so much. Your goal is just kills. You winning will just happen because there's so many players on that field that are just out of your control. Your one and only objective is kills at that point. And
Yeah.
you won't get as many kills as you could get in like a 10 on 10 because you can't move around as much. And that's the other thing is you just can't play as competitively because you're so restricted in where you can go and how long you're going to be alive for.
Originally when iCombat first opened up, it was advertised as being like a team building place. Obviously it still is. Don't take that away from it. But in big sessions, I feel like it kind of does. It pulls it away because it's just like, I'm not going to get control of these 14 other idiots. Everyone wants to play laser tag their own way. Not everyone's up to like the competitiveness that I am at. I'm not going to get a hurt of them unless you have like a really high charisma stat. uh, you having smaller sessions, you can really talk with your team a little bit and think of a plan. Maybe build some morale with them or like know their characters a little bit and start to think about it. But in big sessions, you can only really talk with just the regulars and only some of them, and they're not gonna do exactly what is best for the game. I don't want to say what you want to do, but it's not always gonna work out the way you think it does.
Yeah, that's just correct. Getting a little bit back on topic though, our next game mode is King of the Hill. I hate King of the Hill. I have King of the Hill as a big D. Where do you
Oh
put it,
no,
James?
I like this game. It's an A for me. I like this game a lot.
Ah,
Oh, good for
just
disagreeing.
play Domination, please.
Yeah, it makes sense for you because your domination rights in the S tier. The limited down, watered down version of it is in the F tier. Well, for me, it's just a different dynamic to it. I guess I can kind of see it. Maybe I'll even move it down a peg, but I'm gonna leave it at A for now. Then put it at the end of the A's. Uh, I like it. I like having to focus on one tube. I like how it can just be just in the street, which is a different angle from it. Yeah, I think it's a different way of playing Domination. I've seen so much of Domination, and I like a different version of it.
I think I so rarely see this game being close. I think it's always a wash one way or the other, which is kind of upsetting. And it's never the way you want it to, because half the time the ice operator is like, let's just do one round, King of the Hill, and it's just an immediate wash, and I feel like I'm never on the winning team.
Yeah,
I feel like I just got crushed for no reason. Or
I agree
even when
with
I
you
do
there.
the crushing, like I'm just gonna ignore the tube now because we're never gonna lose it. I'll just go kill people somewhere else. Every time I play it, I'm like, I just wish this was Domination, so the game would be closer, there'd be more back and forth, and we'd be using the whole field. I would have a reason to step foot into ghetto.
Have a reason to. The only reason to step in the ghetto for King of the Hill if it's in the market is to try and get a flank on them and get those kills for it. Then you're not even playing the objective. You're just playing team deathmatch at that point.
Yeah, and I think it just waters down so much to throw body at objective until you get it, and then you'll lose it 10 seconds later, or get objective, sit there, kill people over and over again, and never lose it. I think that's just I don't like it. I don't think I've never played a version of it that I like. I don't like it in the market. I definitely don't like it in the street. I've played it upstairs for some reason, and that was the biggest upset I've ever seen
How,
in Domination. It was like 400 something to 12.
how King of the Hill on top of the marketplace?
It wasn't good. We tried it.
Where'd the tube go?
You know when you're on Embassy side, you just go straight forward on
Okay.
upstairs. It was in that corner.
Really?
Yeah,
That seems like Embassy Side wins.
they did. I don't care where you put it upstairs. I think Embassy side wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right.
That's why we don't put it upstairs.
Yeah. That's King of the Hill.
I don't like it at all. All right.
So next one up.
Anyways, another really fun one coming up is military intel.
Ooh, some big
Woohoo!
zingers. Ooh, military.
Another big D for me.
That's in the D category for me.
Oh, have you ever played Espionage and you're like, man, that went quick. I wish we would have played something else that was fun. And then, man, would I like to introduce to you military intel. It's Espionage but faster.
Yeah, you want to win the game be over in 9 seconds? Ooh-wee.
Also has
So
the clause where you could die twice and be done, which everybody forgets about when they're playing it.
yeah, you can. So there is some dopamine in it where you can start the game, be able to grab the person to grab the bag and swing by it and let your team cover you and bring the person back. Ooh-wee. Game's over in 10 seconds. We did change the game mode, right? So we're 6 seconds. We changed the game mode where we moved the backpack to broken room and patio, I believe.
I thought it was Garden, but I haven't played it yet, so whatever.
Yeah, and so we're ranking it off of the way it's been for years, and that way isn't very good. So we decided to move the objective out further and have it a different way. And I think it should work better, but you have to try it.
We used to play it all the time, especially when I first started playing it, and that was with Qui-Gon Jinn, whose main objective was get bag fast as possibly could. He would always try and break his record, which was like 5 or 6 seconds or something stupid like that. And it'd always be like, oh, the game's over? And then the team would be like, wow, you're fast. And then we'd swap sides. He'd do it again. And it'd be like, wow, that was a waste of probably 10 minutes.
Yep. Well, yeah, because you have to set up the bags, and then you have to get the team. You can play the game mode, and it's over, and you have to wait for ice to load. And in the meantime, everyone's swapping sides. Then you have to put the backpacks in the right spot, get the team over, say, explain we're playing again from the other side, a little bit of complaining, whatever. Get the game to happen again. It happens again. It just for the amount of time of actual game time playing, it's so much downtime setting it up again just for it to be over again in 4 seconds.
On paper, I actually think it's a just great game because it gets rid of the problem with elimination. And the problem with elimination is there's just that stupid guy that's hiding somewhere and you got like a minute left to go find him so you can actually end the game. And then he's got 2 lives left, walks back, blah, 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 blah. This way, you have an objective you can grab. So you can't just time me out. I can go grab the objective, bring it back, and win that way instead of just eliminating everybody.
Yeah. I think that's a great way of doing it too. I want to see it. Imagine the situation where, like, even as the picture describes, it's like some dude with binoculars. If like you're watching out to wait for like the right time to like send someone in to go grab the backpack, like, oh, it's clear, go for it. Imagine just the way it plays from that, and that'd be a great. If it played like the picture shows, then that'd be cool. I want the game to be good.
It's not. I wish it was good, but the but the backpacks in the middle market needs to go. Next on the list is Mission Platoon, which I think. Where do I have Platoon at? Oh, what? I don't think I ranked it. What?
Forget about Platoon.
Oh, I did. I just didn't put it anywhere near alphabetical. I actually have Platoon at an A.
Oh, I have it in S. I really like it.
I like this game mode too.
So recently, a new version of the game came out where instead of 3 tubes, it's just one in the middle of the marketplace, and it makes it a lot cooler.
I like to look at this game mode from like a competitive 5-on-5 perspective, where I've got a very competitive team, and I think trying to organize capture this tube more than the enemy team would be so much fun. Because your one and only goal would be, okay, I need to get all 5 of my players alive in the market so we can just drill the tube over and over again before the enemy team can respawn and get back here.
Yeah. If you can control it just for a second, and you can get, like, let's say you have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 points. You get an extra 5 points for getting your whole team to get it. 10 points. Do it again. 5, 10, 5, 10, 5. You're ahead if you're getting really, really quick. But given you're in the middle of the marketplace, like 2 feet away, how fast can you do that? Part of it is kind of organizing, getting those new players to get over there and shoot the tube, which is really frustrating. But if it's just one tube in the middle of the marketplace, you're not trying to explain to them that, like, just one of the tower, market, and mansion. It's a little bit simpler to get through their heads, and they're more willing to go for it and give it a shot. Especially if you explain to them, you can just go upstairs and lean over the side, shoot one point and do it. Just do it. Shoot the darn tube. It's fun.
I think this is actually one of the rare game modes where it is actually the new player's fault a lot of the time, because the game mode on paper looks really confusing. It's not in practice, but on paper it's really hard to get it across to somebody.
Yeah.
If everybody understood what was happening and really wanted to play the objective, it would be awesome. But that's just, in a public session, it's just not going to happen 90% of the time.
Yeah. What, on a slightly different note, what used to happen with 3 of the tubes, you would have one team hiding in the tower, just shooting the tube over and over again. One tube hiding in the mansion, one team hiding in the mansion, shooting the tube over and over again. And whatever team can shoot their tube faster than the other team would win. If you gave up to run over to the other side and try and stop them from doing it, you just lost.
Yeah.
Trying to go kill the other team, because now your team's behind, waiting on you to get back to shoot the tube when they're already getting all those points for it.
Yeah, it just discouraged players from interacting to the maximum, and it was just not.
And
not
the more
very
you
fun.
can get these players to interact on the field with these different game modes, the better the game mode is. I've just found it's simple. Get the players to interact over an objective, and the game is just awesome.
All right. Moving on to our next game mode is Mission Reaper, which I have as a big old stupid B.
Big old stupid B.
Big stupid B.
I have mine as a bigger, stupider D. It's just team deathmatch with more steps, less steps.
I look at it as exactly TDM. I don't care if it's to the death or not to the death. I look at it as exactly to the death. And when I have a third TDM in my session, I say, okay, meh.
Sure, I'll play TDM again. Just kill the guys more. I like to try and spin it so people are like, okay, so it is different than TDM, by calling it like, oh, it's the KDR version of it. Really focus on your KDR for this game mode. There's a chance if you don't have a good KDR, you'll end up losing it for the game. It doesn't work that way. Just get more kills than the other team does. It's just TDM again.
It is. I guess we have just different philosophies on it. I don't think it's a big deal having a third TDM. I am not crazy about it, but if we need a one-round game, I prefer it over King of the Hill.
I genuinely don't like TDM. We'll get there, though.
Yeah.
So
All right.
games like it, I don't really like.
Moving on to our next game mode, which is Mission Recon. I have Recon as a B.
Mine's a D. And on a side note, what the heck is the image for Recon? What does that even mean? It's a skull with wings with a respirator?
I think it's 2 Magnum handles.
I don't believe you.
You can't change my opinion.
It's not. It's not at all.
It totally is.
I'm going to show you later, and I'll blow it up on the screen. This is not too bad. I don't understand this thing at all.
All right.
Anyways.
So Mission Recon, whether it's, I don't really care which way you play it, whether it's 1 tube or 2 tubes. I think my opinion kind of stays the same on it, and it's fine. I think I will run a few flags when it's convenient for me, but I'm not gonna just sit there and run flags over and over again. I'll play it a little bit. It's fine. I'll play it.
I hate this game mode so much. It is just for me. It's just running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to one spot, back, one spot, back, one spot, back. When a new person comes in, is like, oh, I want to play capture the flag. This is the first thing they think of as being close to capture the flag is that we can get, and
Yep.
it just sucks.
Just a little fun statistic fact. We send out surveys to all of our private parties as to what game modes they want to play. And the description for Recon is it just says capture the flags. It is the highest, like uncontested requested game mode for private parties.
And it's just not what they're getting. They would have I think Espionage is closer to capture the flag than Recon is. You just go to one place, shoot the tube, not die, run back, and you're running tubes back and forth over and over again because you're trying to beat the other team with how many points they get. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've been convinced I'm gonna move her down to a C. Not all the way to a D, but I think it's fun to kind of defend the areas rather than run back and forth and capture flags. But either way, if it's only 2 tubes, it does the same thing that Platoon does, where it incentivizes not interacting. And if you play it in the market, it's just a lot of run back and forth.
Try
And
not to interact because you don't want to die, right? You're not going to run over and shoot and clear, then shoot the tube, run back. You're going to try and just do it as quickly as possible so you're in and out of sight and you don't interact with either team. Just shoot the tube, run back. Quick, 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 quick.
I also think that the breach door side, when it's market, it's like I've seen it be like 20-4 and just like a total blowout always in the breach door side favor.
Oh my gosh. I wish there was a way. Maybe that's the next game I'll really look at to make it better. I don't like how it's played right now, no matter how we do it.
All right,
Then you
moving
had an
on.
idea, but we'll
I
get to
did.
that.
I've got a couple of them, but they haven't really worked in practice so far. Moving on to our next game mode, which is Mission Rush.
Yeah, rush, baby, rush.
Big Rush fan. Number one game
Big.
mode. Rush is the best. S tier.
Rush goes all the way at the top, baby. Put that boy all the way up there. All right, in the S tier, baby.
That game's awesome.
This game is so cool. But what sucks about it is not everyone knows it's so cool because they don't play it. They don't know. They don't know it could be played to such a high, fast pace.
Yeah, I think it is the most competitive game we have by a long shot. I think it is so much fun to clear all 3 tubes and hit every single one of them personally, especially that third tube. Getting to that third tube is always my goal in a public session, and being able to hit it, even if like especially in like a full session, if I can just sweep past everybody, hit the tube, die, man, I hit that tube.
Man, I hit that too, baby. It's awesome. I can't wait to see that game played in the tournament, just as a way to see how people play it. It's going to be really cool to see.
That game is horrifying for the tournament. That's gonna be so fast. It's gonna be done so fast, quick and over.
In public sessions, I think the players fail to realize is that if they can get every single player to shoot the mansion tube, you skip the 30-second countdown, and instantly you're on the next tube, just like that, and it's on. You can breeze through those tubes as quickly as possible. It's called a rush for a reason.
That's 30 whole seconds, baby. That's a minute and a half you can save total.
Yeah, it's huge.
Crazy.
I can't wait to see it played. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be exploding over the microphone when this game is getting played at any point. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. Unfortunately, in big sessions, you can only really get to maybe round 2. Not everyone knows where the mansion is, even though it's literally right there. It's across the street. Guys, look, the tube's right there. It's in front of the mansion. Just, you don't even have to like try very hard. You can actually walk to it and shoot the tube. There's a good chance you'll get there without dying. Just walk up, shoot it. And if you're really having a hard time, go in the mansion, come out the front. Doop, right there. It's not that hard. They won't do it. They refuse to go over there.
Yeah, it's another one of those game modes. Just like Platoon, it could be so much fun, but it's just so hard to relay to the new players how the game actually works. So many times I'll play that game, it'll be like me and one other regulars hit the tube, and then I have to wait for the the 10 new players on my team to either not shoot it, figure out that they need to shoot the first mansion tube halfway through the mission, or I'll just be stuck on round 1 for the whole game.
Oh, I already shot it. I shot it. I promise. Or you get that one person in the spawn yelling out individual names, trying to get their attention. They're not paying attention.
No,
They're not. There's so much adrenaline going through new players' brains. They're not going to hear anything you're saying. They literally cannot hear you.
half the
You're
time
not
they
gonna
don't
get
even know their username anyway.
their What's my username? What? Where
All
am
right.
I?
Moving on to our next game mode is Mission Safecracker. I know this is gonna be a little contrary to Jimbo, but I have Safecrackers. Big B. It's fine. It's Safecracker.
It's an S for me, baby. It's an S. It's an S. It's going up there. I love this game. It's like it's in my shtick that I love this game.
I oftentimes at least find myself getting the key out of the locker. I think that's where I have fun getting it out of the safe. After it's out of the safe, I don't really care what happens.
I love it so much. Whenever I hear Safecracker getting played, I could be losing the session so hard. If they play Safecracker for me, it's awesome. I want to get in there and hit that safe. It's fun to type in the code in the dark and be good at that for one. And then grab the keys and bring it all the way to the other side of the map. And then putting it in the next safe and getting access to the air horn. You can just explode the whole map with it. Like, guys, I won Safecracker. Can you tell? And you honk it again. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've played my fair share of Safecracker and I've had fun with it. I can never think back and picture I had so much fun playing Safecracker. It's never my highlight of a session.
Oh, I guess you could say like that. Every single time I play it, I have fun playing it. That's what I think about. But it's never. I guess you're right. It is never the big highlight. It's Safecracker.
It's Safecracker.
It's Safecracker. It's awesome.
All right, moving on to another game mode. I think you could just say, it's just Sniper.
Yeah, it's just Sniper. It belongs in C.
I have it in B. Whoa!
Look, it's Ken.
Yeah, Ken's back there. It's Sniper. It's the most played game mode. It's just Team Deathmatch.
It is the most played game mode. I wish I could pull up the stats, and I don't think I will right now. But generally, Team Deathmatch is the most played game mode.
It's like
obviously
60% of sessions.
Followed by Sniper.
I think
Sniper gets played all the time.
I honestly think it's just Team Deathmatch, but you have like a RNG chance of winning based off the rest of your team.
Yeah, there's a chance that even at the end, the players are just gonna like celebrate and shoot a bunch of bullets into the wall and just annihilate your score. There's gonna be a chance where one player probably think it's funny to go on auto and just like shoot around the corner a bunch and explode just get a bunch of kills but lose a ton of accuracy. It's a great way to show your skill with accuracy, but it's just kind of just Team Deathmatch, and we play so much of it. I'm tired of hearing Sniper.
I think from a tournament perspective, it's actually a really cool game mode because it's very slow and the accuracy plays a much bigger role into it. When I'm ever in a public session, it's like I feel like I put up a Sniper score of we'll just say 1,700 or something like that, a big number. I got a big number. And I walk back like, we must have won. And then we lose, and I walk back, and it's like the enemy team got 300, and somehow my team got 100. I'm like, man, I'm putting up 100 for each player on my team. How on earth?
You look at the individual sniper ratings of all your other players, like 50, 46, 0.
I really wish that I could see everybody's sniper rating at the end of the game, besides just the MVPs, so I could go down
call them out.
Go down the list and be like, who is this? Why is your sniper rating a 5?
What's going on?
What are you doing?
That'd be really cool. I wish there was more focus on that sniper rating, because not even in the MVP does it show it there? I don't remember.
It do show it in the MVP.
It's in the MVP. I feel like it misses a stat, and I want the sniper rating to be a bigger spotlight on it. sometimes you gotta have to really look for it and be like, oh, I got a 900, and 900 doesn't really mean a lot to like new players. We know what a 900 is. That's awesome. Good for you.
Especially if
So,
you know how to actually do the math and figure out how many shots you hit versus missed.
mm-hmm.
Which it's actually just really not that hard. It's just kind of a simple division, but
I'm not gonna do simple division. I'm playing laser tag.
I'm playing laser tag. All right. Moving on to another game mode is Mission Hacker. Hacker, I think, is kind of an interesting one. I have it as a B.
I have it as an A.
I think we think the same about Hacker, but have graded it differently.
Yep. I think it's an awesome game mode, and I've never seen it played the way it's meant to be played.
Yep. And that's why I have it in B. I have it that it depends on the session. If I'm playing Hacker in a session without Woodland or Zach, I'm gonna have a good time. When I had all these little boosting nerds come into my session and just want to go back and forth and not play the game, I'm sad. I like Hacker. I want to play it.
It is a lot of points for shooting the tube, and it's haha funny light turn off over and over again. But imagine like the meta that could be developed around the game. There's 2 targets in every single spot. You could fight for control of individual buildings or floors of buildings, or even just like all the buildings in Ghetto, obviously, and fight for pushing up to control individual hacker targets. But it never ever gets played that way. It's a 50 chance of whether or not it
The other big thing about Hackers, I feel like there's never a good point to play it in a session. I don't want to play it instead of a tube game, and I don't really want to play it later in the session because it requires so much setup if it's not been done already. So oftentimes it's just not going to get played because the new players, you can't play it right away because there's no way they're ever going to find a target. Even though it's like done halfway through a session, they're still not gonna find a stupid target ever. And if they find one, it's just already gonna be glowing or whatever.
and then you would think you would want to play in a session where it's all regulars. Everyone knows where all the targets are. And one of two things is going to happen. Obviously, they're going to boost. And it's going to boost the whole time and really turn into like really full on boosting like 2-person to each target. Or sometimes the regulars straight up don't even know where the targets are. I caught Airband the other day, didn't know where the targets were. We just don't play it enough.
Yeah, I've certainly seen regulars in a room and I'll shoot the target and be like, that was there? And it's always the lower market ones. I'm like, yeah, it's literally never moved. It's there. Been there for like 2 years now.
We just never play the game enough. I want to play it so the meta can develop around it, and we've had it for 2 years, and no meta has been developed around this game mode yet.
Because we just don't play it because it's just gonna devolve into boosting over and over again. We always know it's a one-sided game mode, but I don't know which side wins, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to find out. I want to find out how the game actually plays. We never get the chance to play it.
All right, moving on to supply grab. It's a big ol' C.
It's a C for me too.
Never excited to hear supply grab. Maybe I'll grab a box or two. I think it's a lot of fun to sweep behind and like grab one of the enemy team's boxes, but it's just another fast game.
Yeah, the highlight for me is being the person that grabs three of the 4 crates, for example. That's fun. But generally the game will just end pretty quickly. And it's always breach side that wins. It's cool to see garage side win. That's cool, but it rarely happens. And if it does happen, it's like, oh man, these teams are whack.
Games that end in like 2 minutes or less are it's just not very fun. There's just more setup time than there is actual game time, and it's just never worth the wait.
Yeah, I want games that end so quickly. Game time in game, like Espionage, Military Intel, and Supply Grab, they all end far too quickly. I wish I could bring them out a little bit so we can get the value out of it, and it could still be more of just like more of a game, more thought to it.
Right. No, it's Supply Grab.
It's Supply Grab.
All right. Next up on our list is Mission Swat, Which I'm actually I'm a SWAT fan. I'm gonna put that guy in the old B category. Big SWAT fan.
I'm a big Swat fan. It goes in the A category for me. I love
A.
that game.
I think it is kind of a strict improvement to Black Hawk Down.
Okay, I wouldn't say that.
I think it uses the entirety of the field, which is always awesome. Uh, Unfortunately, I think it's plagued by uh, new players either cheating because they don't know what's going on, and especially from their perspective, half the times they think they've got a good spot, and it's like the first place I check because so many times it's like, oh, they're gonna be in that little corner in Embassy. I'm just gonna run over there. I'm gonna shoot at the wall, and they're gonna die from forces they could not even possibly comprehend.
There are only so many places someone can hand. Believe it or not, there's only, what, 38, 36 rooms on the field? There's
I
so
got
many
no idea.
places you could check. I think I counted one time. It's cool to work as a team, being a SWAT team. Like, they can kind of attack from different angles. There was one time when I was playing with Damien, or with Frog Champ, excuse me, and Zach. Zach was on top of a tower, and I pointed at a wall, and he could immediately tell that, oh, there's a person outside of the wall. He starts shooting over the top of the tower at the person inside the ghetto. And at the same time, I'm coming in from one way, and Damien's coming in from the other way, and we're just like completely annihilating this one poor person who's never played before. We came in from 3 separate angles on this one guy. Like, oh no! It was really cool to see the teamwork there. I
I
love teamwork in these games.
I immediately, as soon as the game starts, I will just run all the way to the embassy side, respawn in the embassy, and kill the people that just have no idea what's going on. And I can just look at their face, and they're like, "Oh, it's 30 seconds in, and I've got 4.5 minutes to wait.
Oh
You
boy.
you're telling me I don't get to respawn?"
You're telling me I got one of these lives? And I got 200 health, but I don't want to use it.
Well, yeah. As soon as they just start getting shot, they're like, "Oh, I'm getting shot," and they start standing up, and I'm still shooting them.
Yep.
Yeah, I just I hate I don't like killing the new players. I'm not gonna stop, but
I'm not
man,
going to
I
stop
can
doing
just
it,
see
but
the
I'll
look
feel
on
good
their
doing
face. They're like, "Well, this is stupid."
it. Sometimes I feel that way too. But I am a point gremlin at heart. I do want them points too.
All right, moving on to our next game mode, one that I am expecting to have kind of a big controversy over here, is Team Deathmatch, the flagship game.
The flagship game of
Big
Team Deathmatch.
big S for me.
Big C for me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I love objectives, man.
I I'm gonna agree with that. I love objectives, but TDM? You can't go wrong with TDM. I was
It's
just
just there's no thought.
if it's not in my session, I would be upset.
I wouldn't. Well, you gotta show the new players how to play somehow, and it's the perfect way to do that. There is really no thought to it. It's traditional laser tag that you get anywhere else. You go out there, zug zug, shoot the bad guys.
I'm gonna paint a scenario for you. So
Okay.
we don't play TDM every session. It's not something we do anymore. We
Yeah.
start our sessions. We start our session strong with 2 rounds of domination or something like that. Just get the new players introduced, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we move on, going through the rest of the session in our final game mode. Awesome. We've made it. Final game mode is mission military intel.
Like big crescendo. Yeah, I can see that.
And then
I
suddenly
think
you're
there's
like, "Oh, this session sucked. It doesn't matter what happened the rest of that session, man. You're ending on military intel or Borg or Domination or not Domination, Judge Dredd or Hell's Bells or something like that. You're like, it's all for naught. There is no light at the end of this tunnel."
you always wanna. Have you ever eaten just any meal and you always want to make sure that last bite's just like the perfect bite?
Gotta
Um,
make sure that last bite's Team Deathmatch.
yeah, yeah. I think there's no better way to do that, and I think that's just how you do it at iCombat. I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna ever fight to change getting rid of Team Deathmatch. I just want to get it over with. Move on to the interesting stuff.
All right. Well, moving on to
To
Mission
interesting stuff.
Terminator. This is
Yes,
interesting
super.
stuff. I I had such a hard time grading this game out. I put a question mark next to it. I think I'm gonna put it in B for now and maybe change that later. What do you
Oh my
got?
god, I hate this game so much. Just put it in the D category.
I think I've played this game. It all matters on what side you're on, man. If you're a Terminator, you're like, oh, this is the best. This game mode is perfect. How could it? How are we not playing this in every single session? What is why have I never played this before? If
Its
you're the
game mode is perfect. I'm demolishing the enemy team. They're not having any fun, but man, it's perfect to me.
if you're John Connor, like, yeah, this is cool. I can get behind this. I'm like, I'm doing pretty good here. I'm defending my team. Look at me go. And
Yeah,
then
but
you're
the
the
70
resistance,
views.
and you're like, some new player. Oh, I'm 0-20. Why do they take so many shots to kill? What is going on?
It's
You're
absolutely
you're
right.
telling me they got bike lights?
I don't see those.
Ah, it just depends so much on what side you're on.
Yeah, that's exactly why I don't like it. Even it's fun to be a Terminator, and obviously there's less Terminators than Resistance. Very, very, very small chance you're playing as Terminator, and when the teams are made, they're not gonna be anywhere near balanced. Period. It's either the Resistance absolutely smashes, or the Terminators absolutely demolishes. It's nowhere in between. It's just another team deathmatch with big robot people and squishy humans.
Well, that's actually an interesting thing. Is you bring up that one way or the other, it's gonna swing. Why wouldn't we just always try and swing it so the resistance wins? Isn't that the best case scenario?
What do you mean by that?
So the resistance obviously has more players. So say the resistance just crushes the Terminators. Like Terminators obviously get their big number because they're Terminators and they can get a ton of kills. But the resistance wins and it's not very close. The resistance is obviously happy because they're the big winners. The new players that went 0 and 12 probably aren't the happiest, but the rest of the team is having a good time. I went 3 and 4. I'm a resistance. Let's go. Uh, John Connor is like, oh, I'm John Connor, woohoo! And then the Terminators are still all happy because even if it doesn't mean they went negative if they lose, they still got to put up big number. They still got to shoot a lot of people very easily.
So I think I know why you like this. Um, Generally, I think you're pretty good at making teams back in the armory. I think you got a pretty good grasp around it. And you're in the icebox. You're the one that's making the teams up there, and you can make that happen. Most people can't. If I tried to get a regular to like make the teams for it, they flounder so hard and they have no idea what's going on. They don't know how to do it right. It just ends up being a dumpster fire all ways around it. Getting to the point where you're playing Terminator in the icebox, and oh boy, you gotta be the one to make the teams. How can I make this good? I just say screw it. I'll ick est. Go ahead, make the teams as random as possible. Whoever wins wins. I don't want to think about that too much. That's imagine the pressure that's on you if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's something interesting I've been doing when I was in ice for it is I always just hit the auto button and then I kind of go from there. But I've actually been taking away some of the Terminators. So I've been playing it with less Terminators. So in a full session, it'll be like a 6 on 24 or something like that. And the Terminators just get overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Which
exactly what I'm afraid of.
just like what I was saying before, though, I think that's the best case scenario where the Terminators lose, they still get their big kills,
But
then
do they?
and the
If there's
majority of the players get the win.
they're getting swamped and just covered in like they're actually getting swarmed by humans.
They're getting
They,
swarmed by one-shot players. I could just spray my gun down the street, get a couple kills, die, repeat. And half the time, the new players don't care how many times they die if they just get a lot of kills.
I don't. Maybe I want to see the game played more often. Maybe you could be right. I've never seen that happen.
All right,
Well, try it.
I'm gonna leave mine at a B. I was debating whether or not to move her up or down, but I'm gonna leave her where she is. All
Right in
right.
the middle.
Next game mode is a good one. Mission UBL. Big top of the ranks for me. S this guy.
Oh, it's an A. It's an A for me. It's definitely good. I play both full sessions. It's just going to be the terrorists winning over and over again. If smaller sessions, this game has really awesome potential of defending that body. Generally, just going to be it's team deathmatch again.
I
Killing.
don't play full sessions, so this game is awesome.
Yeah, I could see where it's good, and I've seen it been playing good because I've seen a lot of sessions, but I never get to play it to have that big game. I haven't. It hasn't given itself the respect for S yet for me.
It's
Soon.
it's fun to make the big plays. It's fun to go get the body, drag her all the way down, or even just get it out of the mansion. You're like, I did that. I win. You walk back, and your team's like, oh, who got it? Be like, I did, and high fives all around. Woohoo! Or you're playing defense, making the big calls. This guy's there. Look around behind us. Blah 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 blah. That's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. The game's awesome, and it's a game that not other. I don't think many other combat fields have it either. You look at the picture on it. They
Yeah,
don't
most
want
of
that.
them don't. Or sometimes they'll play it, and it's just weird compared to the way we play it.
Yeah, I guess I haven't played it anywhere else. I can't play it in Madison, right?
I think you could, but I don't remember how they played it. All right,
Maybe I'll talk to Mac. Anyways.
moving on since we're actually getting going kind of long. Next game mode is mission Whack a Mole. Big ol' A for me. It's not as good as its cousin Domination, but it's fine.
Oh, it's an S for me. I like it.
That's
What could make it an S
whack.
plus?
You need to explain.
Yeah, sure. It's I wish it would make it an S plus for me is that if the tower tube was called out just as much as the mansion tube was.
That's a
That'd be
myth.
I don't think I think it is. I think it's real.
I think it's a myth.
Okay. All right.
I think that's as real as blind firing.
That's true. Blind firing is not real. I don't think I've ever seen it.
All right.
I'm gonna bring a clipboard up.
I need you to explain why it's better. Why it's 2 tiers above Domination. I need this explanation.
So whenever I get to play Domination, or excuse me, Whack-A-Mole, I get to be the person that's actually running from each individual one, and I can sometimes predict when the tube is going to be at. Obviously, if I just shot the mansion tube, it's not going to be mansion again. And if the tube that was before it was market, there's probably a pretty decent chance that the whatever code or algorithm it picks is going to be pick tower. It's like, okay, I can't get the tower this time, but I can damn near try. And I can always pretty much get over the tower and take it over and shoot it again. And then think to myself, okay, well, now it's probably going to be market next. And I get over to the market, get up the staircase. Okay, 3, 2, 1, market tube's online. Bang, shoot it. Yeah, I'm so good at predicting where this freaking mole's going to pop up. I don't know how I managed to do it. I can generally always predict where the tube's going to be with, like, obviously I'm going to mess up sometimes. I'd say I mess up like 30-40% of the time I mess it up, somewhere in there.
So
it's pretty awesome.
So if I'm correct, that the reason you like Whack-A-Mole is because you get to move around from all the different locations to hit the tube as much as possible, correct?
And, you're gonna say that it's just gonna be Domination, right?
Well, I want to know why you think that's different from Domination, because if I shoot,
it's predicting it. It's predicting where it's gonna show up.
So predicting, taking that 50-50 coin flip is I hit mansion, it's gonna be either market or tower. That coin flip is why it's 2 stages better than Domination.
Yeah, it's awesome. I had a lot of great experience in this game mode.
You just should not even play then. You should just go in the back and flip coins. It's going to give you a lot more fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. The stuff's on the line, man. It's fun. I've had a lot of great experience with, like, I know where it's going to be. It's going to be tower next. And I get there before the tower tube shoots up, and bam, I'm the only one in there. Dink, that's right. It's me, baby. I got that point instantly, boy. I love that game. I think it's not my absolute favorite, but man, is it an S. I love Whack-A-Mole.
That is a very strange opinion. You might be it. You might be the only person that likes Whack-A-Mole over Domination.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong, but boy, I don't know, man.
Okay, we've made it through all the game modes. I left the link to this exact tier list in some Discords, and if you don't have it, you can find it. I'll send it to you. Feel free to send out your own one, and I don't know, show me and Alex later, and tell me while I'm wrong on leaving Whack-A-Mole so high. Anything else you want to talk about here?
any of these nerds just come up to me and be like, I don't like your King of the Hill placement. Just shut up, man. I don't care.
Man,
All right.
supply grab's really better
Moving
game than
on to our final quick topic here is we're gonna just show the last 7-day leaderboard. You're gonna get to see Alex and James stuck there. I'm not changing it. The last 7-day leaderboard from this week. Moving down the list, he has moved up a spot. He has taken the number 1 reins. Is Mr. Woodland himself. He's bumped down Zach to the number 2 spot. Sniper 17. Then we got Milkman, Chief, Nate, Airvan, Onyx Yadiel, 6s and 7s, Delirium, J Vito, Dummy, Decil, Quicks, Jace Mace, and Michael 4141.
Oh, Michael got in.
He do.
Nice. He do be getting in.
I think I was talking to you about it earlier, but the 3 big points, and actually I'm gonna make it 4 after I didn't notice him earlier, but the 4 interesting players to see this week playing the most is Onyx Yadiel, Dummy, Jace Mace, and Michael 4141.
They took a break for a little bit, and
They
then
did.
I didn't see a whole lot of Jace Mace anymore. And then I see Jace Mace back, and I think he's back and bigger personality than ever. Before he was kind of timid, and now he's come back and he's made a bit where he's the ninja guy running around being loud, and boy does he love it. I love that for him.
Oh, you get a lot more of that as a team leader than I do. I just talk to them at the front desk. I talk to Michael plenty though.
He's so loud, and sometimes I gotta. If you're watching right now, Jace, it's absolutely a true story. One of the new players came up to me and was like, "Is the ninja guy serious right now, or does he work here?" It's like, no, he's just really hype. That's just what he is. He thought it was like you were crazy or something. You're trying to like bring up the spirits and like you're an employee or something. But nope, just Jace being loud. Good for him.
Looking at this whole list, you see one rank that stands out above all the other ones, and that's the rank 21 Dummy doing his tournament practice,
Look at him go.
Getting ready to perform, and he's performed. He's walking around with his 400 kills for the week, his 1.3 KDR and a 10 kill streak. For a rank 21, look at him go.
Look at him go. I love to see that for him. I think last week I said I didn't think he was too good, but man, I've been proven wrong. He's putting in the work. He got thrown onto the team and he wants to perform well and he really wants to be a part of the sport, and I'm really, really glad to see it.
And the last player to talk about for the week is Onyx Yadiel, popping in at number 7 this week. Someone who had been away for a little while after an unfortunate accident on the field. That doesn't really need to be discussed any further. He's coming back and, wow, look at him go. He's got a 2.6 KDR, 3.45 kills per minute. That's a lot of kills a minute.
Looks like he just got his eagle too. I didn't notice that.
He did. He's an eagle too. Look at him go. He probably got it not this weekend, but the weekend before, I'd assume, since he made 33,000 this week.
You know what also is funny? Look at Milkman and Chief. They're almost at the end of their eagles, and Nate at 46.
They're terrifying.
Almost out. Imagine Nate with a star. Look at him go.
He's so close. So very soon, you'll see 4-star Nate. It's only a matter of time. It's inevitable, really.
You can't stop him.
No. All right. Well, I do believe that will bring us to the end of the second Point Gremlin podcast. I think we're going to plan on doing this for around 7 o'clock on Wednesdays from now on. If you have anything you'd ever like to talk to us about, to maybe a little Q&A to put on the podcast, just bring it up to either me or James. We'd be more than happy to maybe answer a few questions or bring up some new topics that any of you would like to bring up. But besides that, I think that brings our lovely stream to an end. Thanks for everybody for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Guten Tag. Oh, you said we weren't going this way!